My wonderful Prob Stats class, you should see this video right here. So hopefully you've clicked on it and you see this. Okay, I wanted to show you this skill and put it in this Nearpod because one of the goals of your probability and statistics class is to use the tools that you have available to you. You have the Microsoft Suite, and then you can also sign up for Google for free if you want. And use those tools to create some of these charts and this data representation, because that's the fun part. You can take what you learn here, not just the math, but also the practical skills, use the tools, represent the data, and go from there. I like Excel. It's pretty user friendly. Don't be afraid to click. Oh, that's not true. Sometimes Excel and I are enemies. So anyway, open up Excel. If you don't have Excel, you can go download it, because you as an Arizona Virtual Academy student have access to the complete Microsoft Office products, okay, for free. All right, in Excel, you have a lot of options here. One of the things I notice is about this pie graph, let's just look at A for a second, 20, 30, 20, 20. They're in separate groups. So that's not saying I have like if I listed this 20 and 30 and I said, okay, well, there was 3 20s and 1 30, right? That's one way to organize the data in a table. Doesn't really make sense though with the set notation. So I would interpret that as counts, especially when I start to see these pie charts, which represent a part of a whole. So the total amount would be 20 plus 20 is 30 plus 20 plus 20 is 90. So the total amount would be 90. That would represent the whole circle. And then the 20, 30, 20, 20 would represent the portion or proportion or the percent of the total. So let me go ahead and do that now instead. I'm just going to use letters A, B, C, D, and I'm going to just put those in there. 20, 30, 20, 20. Okay. That didn't give us any more information, did they? They were just like, here you go. So it's all right. 20, 20, 30, 20. Or if it was 20, 30, 20, 20, that's okay. It doesn't really matter. The pie chart will still be broken up into these parts. So now, what if I do that? I highlighted my data. Ooh, look at this fancy little helper. I'm going to click on that. Well, I don't mind if I would like a chart. I would love a pie chart. Thank you for that. Aha! Well, I just literally put it in groups, 20, 20, 30, 20. They changed out the colors for me, so I needed to do that. But I could change things, right? I could be like groups, count, right? If I go down here, I try again, chart, pie chart. There you go. It already changed the label for me. Over here, we can pick data labels 20, 20, 20, 30. You can change the style and the format. Look how this one tells you the percent and the count. That's great. And then here you can adjust whatever you like. You can change the names. Don't be afraid to click around. If ever there's a project where we have to, oh, look, there's our other graph. We can get rid of it. I just highlighted it, deleted it. Okay. So that's pretty cool. This helped me visualize my data. Excel, PowerPoint, even Microsoft Word have these tools kind of built in. You just need to put them in a table format that makes sense. Then the programming interprets that and can produce all sorts of neat graphs for you. So try it. Have some fun, and it'll help you answer questions. So this is 22%, 22%, 22%, 34%. Let's go take a look. Aha, right here. Now, while the different pie graphs are in a different order, the same amounts are split up. So A would match to 18. Try it with the different numbers. See if you like Excel, get comfortable making those tables and charts. You can always use the GeoGebra applet as they teach you in your course. If you follow the student PDF, the student guide, you download it and follow along through the activities in the course. They do kind of walk you through how to make them there. I just prefer Excel. Thanks for watching.